Hello, I'm Pastor Jeremy, and I'm here in a park near my house next to this incredible redwood tree. Um, One of the things that has been really kind of awe-inspiring to us since we've moved out here is the sort of diversity of plant life. There's lots of the plants and trees from where we came, but there's also all of this other incredible biodiversity. I mean, these redwood trees, the one I'm standing with is probably like a baby redwood compared to the ones we saw in Big Basin. But I've been struck by the beauty of creation. And that is a thing that the Bible calls on over and over again. In fact, it has a very mystical view of creation. There's this one part of the Jesus story where these kids are praising Jesus, and the religious leaders at the time don't think that's a great idea. And he says, if they stop, the rocks themselves will cry out. There's this passage in the book of Romans too, and I like this one. I think this one sort of pulls a lot of thoughts into one verse. Romans chapter 1 verse 20 says, "For since the creation of the world, God's invisible qualities, eternal power and divine nature have been clearly seen, being understood from what has been made, so that people are without excuse." So the idea there is that God is communicating through creation itself. You might condense that down even further to say that creation is God's autobiography. So it says that we're without excuse. Nobody can ever say they haven't experienced God or don't know anything about God because they've seen a sunset. If they live out here, they've stood underneath one of these magnificent redwood trees. And the Bible talks about creation as speaking for God over and over and over again, to the point that I think one of the spiritual practices that we all need to engage in is walking into creation with our spiritual eyes and minds open, knowing that as we are walking through a park or sitting on our porch staring up at the trees, that God is speaking. God is speaking, but the real question is, are we listening? Most of the time when we're going through these places, we're just looking at the beauty, and that's great. But what if we entered into nature spiritually open, ready to hear God speak? So that's what I want you to do. In fact, today or tomorrow, go out somewhere where there is the beauty of God's creation, somewhere that does not exist inside a Zoom window. But go there as a spiritual pilgrimage. Go there expecting to hear from God. And then, if you think about it when you get back, I'd love you to post a comment here. And I mean, I'd just like to hear about what happens.